He joins us now in a Closing Bell exclusive interview. James, great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be with you, Wilf.
We wanted to kick off, if we can, on macro topics with a Fed meeting coming this week. You've raised some eyebrows of late at a conference in Tokyo, saying you think rates will move higher early next year as opposed to later than that, and described yourself in your conversation with Betsy today as a hawk a couple of times. So talk us through why you have that view and how it's altering your behavior as a CEO.
Sure. Well, we're in a very unusual situation. We have record low rates, historically low. We have record high fiscal stimulus, and we have synchronized recovery of the global economies. Not every single country, but most countries. And I just heard the comments about Europe, and Europe's following the US, which is following Asia. So there's an enormous number of positives going on right now. We're seeing inflation creep in. And the question is, when does the Fed move? It has to move at some point. And I think the bias is more likely earlier than the current dots would suggest rather than later. And that's what I expressed. Obviously, I have no special wisdom on it, but my gut tells me this economy is recovering faster, inflation is moving quicker, and it may not be quite as transitory as we all think.
So do you think that we're therefore in an era potentially of a major policy mistake by not starting that process sooner? And do you think that equity markets will correct meaningfully when or if they come to join you in your current opinion?
I don't think it's a policy mistake. No, I think these are judgment calls. And listen, the Fed has a deep responsibility to help the U.S. economy recover and to get people back working. And as we know, employee participation is not there yet. So we'll see when the extra bonus, if you will, comes off in September, how those numbers change. Right now, if you go anywhere around the country, there are help wanted signs everywhere. But no, I don't think we're at a policy mistake by any stretch. We've still got plenty of time for the Fed to move. I just think my bias is it's likely to happen sooner rather than later.
James, it's Sarah. I just wanted to follow up on something you just suggested, which is that you don't think inflation is necessarily going to be transitory. Why do you disagree with the Fed and now the markets, the bond market on this point? What do you see?
Again, Sarah, it's my judgment from looking at the numbers, looking at how the economy is behaving, and looking at the kind of inflation that we're seeing, which in very short term is extremely high. So how that rebalances with all the disruption to the supply chains and what's going on in the commodities cycle remains to be seen. But my gut is not all of it is going to go away as we'd all like in the next several months.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.